to trim this body out is going to be a flexible sanding block, piece of 400 grit sandpaper, curved trimming scissors, much longer regular scissors, decent razor blade. You're probably going to go through 2 of them, and the better results are achieved with a newer one. And a body reamer for making those body holes. Now this sandpaper, it doesn't have to be a strip, but it does have to be 400 grit, and it's best if it has a sticky back to it. This sanding block, I like it because it's got a soft side, and then the opposite side is a much firmer side. If you don't have a sanding block, that doesn't matter, because we're also going to be using anything round, something with a diameter that is similar to the opening for the wheel well on the body. And what I do is I stick the sandpaper on here, wrap it around, and this is almost the same diameter as the wheel opening, and you just come right up against it and sand it. We're not going to be using scissors to cut the wheel wells for the body. We're going to use a razor blade, and we are going to trace that body line that's provided. We're going to trace it one time, nice and clean. We're going to put some slits in the area that we're going to dispose of, and we're just going to flake them off, and it's going to snap clean, and it's going to snap exactly where you want it to. To smooth out any imperfections is when we come back with this flexible sanding block with the 400 grit sandpaper, or we just use this. Just simply place it against the cut edge and just roll it. That's all you got to do. So let's get started.
I'm just doing this so that I can stand it on its side without it wanting to topple over. So first I'm going to do is the wheel wells. Now this isn't necessary that you trim off an edge off of material that still needs to be cut. I like to do it because this edge, having that 90-degree fold, it makes it really hard for you to work comfortably and cut everything else you need to cut. Plus, now I can stand it on its side, and I can cut these wheel wells out with a razor blade, and I can cut this, and I don't have to worry about this being in my way. It's going to come out a lot nicer if you make the beginning easy. Just cut out of the way. Whatever you do, don't lift the razor blade up. Keep it on the surface the whole time. If you're afraid of your precision, just stay a little bit on the inside of the body line so you don't cut outside of the body line and ruin the body. Now we're going to begin to cut this out.
I'm going to go straight up. And right when I hit the body, or I don't feel comfortable squeezing it, I'm not going to force it. I'm going to stop. take a different direction with this one. I'm gonna go up a little bit. See if I can use these scissors. Let's try that. Even worse. Just gotta do it with the razor blade. There we go. Jeez. Fighting me over there. One more. You know what? Let me cut some of these off. Because I already feel that I'm not so comfortable. Okay. One. Two. Three. Four. Nah, not feeling it. Maybe I need a new razor blade. How about that? Let's see. What's happening here? Might have been. Maybe I did need a new razor blade. I said I was gonna need 2 of them before the job is done. Now, there's no denying that it comes out nice. That goes without question, but to me, it's worth the effort. Because if you're gonna sit down and trim a body, you may as well just dedicate your next 2 hours to that. I'd rather take my time and do something that comes out right with guarantee than to try to rush it or look for a more practical way and maybe cut into it with the scissors or just rip it or do something messed up, and now the body, now I'm never going to be happy with it. So I'd rather take my time and do it like this. The first one didn't come out as clean as all the other ones because we need to warm up. That razor blade probably wasn't as new as the one that I grabbed. I just didn't feel like going to the garage and grabbing another razor blade. But they should do the job. It's the last one we need to cut or snap off. couple of these, snap those off. Let's get that cut and going. So this is thin. This part of the body back here is really thin. I don't like that. I wish it would have come out as thicker. It's the front, but this one I didn't go all the way to the edge, so it's not going to want to snap, and if you force it, it's going to tear the body. Be sure that you don't bend this whole body when you're doing it, because it will tear. You have to support it on this end. When you pull down here, you got to hold it here so it only bends at the score mark. If you try to break off too big of a piece that has too much material on it, it's going to end up tearing into the body. Make sure they're like little pizza slices. There we go. This I can probably trim right now. Just cut that off. There. This too. So let's send it here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the rest of the sides off, which isn't gonna be a big deal. So we'll end it here. I don't think you guys need me to show you how I'm gonna cut the back. It's gonna be the same way I did the front. Same thing. If you got it, if it's easier to score it from the inside for whatever reason, you can do it like that as well. I'm gonna go ahead and finish trimming this body. I'm gonna sand the wheel wells and make them nice and round. And the next video is going to be painting the graphics on here with a paintbrush. So I'll show you how that's gonna go. This is the hardest part, right here. Cutting this corner right here, that's gonna be the hardest part. Alright, so let's crack off some of these. This area, for sure, you're gonna have to do it with a razor blade because you're not gonna get any of that cut. If you don't do it like this, you're never gonna get the back of this looking right. Let's see. Let's go here. Huh, how about that? So you're gonna do a better job than that with scissors? This last piece here, I'm gonna put a cut into this sharp area. Remember, you have to initiate the lines. You don't initiate the line, you don't know where it's gonna crack. You have to tell it where to break at. get a clean look at that. You're not gonna get the back of this body looking like this unless you score it with the razor blade like I did for the wheel wells. You can come back here. You can come back here with a piece of 220 sanding grit wrapped around a little hard piece of wood or a paint stick or a toothbrush, whatever you got. Just sand those little edges off. If you have a Dremel, perfect. The hardest part is going to be this corner right here, because it already has some body damage. That scratch that's going up and down on the left side, it's there on both parts of the body. That was from the manufacturing. That's the mold. It's part of the mold. You gotta fix that. So it's a little wavy because I cut that with the scissor. You can see the difference. That was with the scissor, and I said to myself, nope, I'm gonna use the razor blade. Look at the difference. This cut right here with the scissors versus how straight these lines are. So everything that's left, I do things, where am I? Okay, I do things like I'm gonna round that off. I'm gonna round that off, I'm gonna sand all of this smooth. I'm gonna make sure I bring that exactly to the body line. I'm gonna clean off those little burrs. I'm gonna round off this little piece here. I always leave a little bit, like wherever you see the body line is at, I never cut it right on the line. I always cut it away from the line so I have a little extra material, and it makes it look a little more realistic rather than just a plastic edge just diminishing. Same thing here. I always cut below the body line so that I still have a body line. If you cut it at the line, then it looks cheap and fake. So I'm just gonna get a sanding block with 220, like a long piece of wood, wrap the sandpaper around it and just run it back and forth. Like, you could even do that with a file, a steel file, like a finishing file, or what do you call it? A fingernail file, a cosmetic fingernail file. You could use that. It's the perfect tool. Finish all your edges with that. That's what I'm gonna do actually. But I still need the 400 and the 220 for the wheel wells. I know a lot of people that would just leave it like that and be happy with it. But like I said, I'm a perfectionist. I'm gonna sand it and make it nice and clean. And I got a badass paint job that I'm gonna be doing on here, and I got plans for this car. I'm gonna do things to make it look realistic. I'm gonna try to go for realism. I'm gonna try to put actual mesh grills. I'm gonna try to make LED headlights with the chrome backing on it. Same thing for the brake lights. So I've already been doing research and liking and like saving things so that when the time comes I can purchase them. So thanks for watching.